Yeah,
Hey, Greg. Good morning. How are you? Or afternoon?
I'm good, thank you, sir. It's just me.
Just the two.
Wants to join. Mike? I'm not doing very well for staff at the minute. I'll tell you. I've got so Loz is at the dentist, and Mike's sunning himself in Jamaica. So
Oh boy.
um, yeah, just getting everyone back to work this year has been hard. Um, but we're getting there. Um,
I thought everybody took the holidays during the summers there.
oh, we have a lot of holiday periods. I have to say, the UK is not as bad as mainland Europe for holidaying in the summer. In the
Gotcha.
summer, in like it's France, Italy, Germany, like nothing seems to happen for the whole of August. You can just totally write it off. Um, whereas, yeah, in the UK, yeah, there's a bit of a lull. Yeah, it's really around the weather. If the weather's really good in the UK, everything stops. Partly because our buildings aren't set up for the heat. Um, but if like this summer was terrible, we hardly had any sunshine the whole of the summer. So
Wow.
it actually quite a productive summer. Everyone worked all summer, but then of course everyone's tired at the end of the year, and people hadn't taken very much paid leave. So they've taken lots of it at Christmas this year. So the UK has been pretty shut for the whole of December, more or less.
Interesting. Well, I'm glad you're able to join.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit up and try. By the way, I've got a call with Tracewell on Thursday.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm just going to sound them out about building this building this cube, which might serve as a bit of a prototype for everything.
Yep.
We've got a need for it. It's something we can do. Always like working with Tracewell's lots. So, um, we might learn some stuff, even if it's not exactly our preferred solution. It's a learning exercise. I see we have lots of participants joining us.
Yeah, this is great.
I shall
I'm
shut
trying
up
to
now. Let you
yeah,
chair.
yeah, I'm trying to keep track of everybody that's joining. Um, Doing Alan's job today.
Good morning, guys.
You near? Good morning. How are you?
Morning. Good. How are you?
Good morning.
Morning. Is
I'm
Alan
like,
is joined today? Is out?
he's on holiday.
Oh, okay.
Uh, Hi, Michael Chu. Happy New Year.
Welcome, everyone. Let's see. Mel, good morning. I'm keeping track of the attendance for Alan.
Yeah,
Can you
hi, good
share?
morning. This is
Good
Mel.
morning.
Hi, from
And what's your,
Avicenna.
I'm
Hi.
sorry, what's your last name, Mel?
Michelle,
Oh,
Michelle.
got it. Thank you.
Also, hello, Andrew Downs is here from Precision X Technologies.
Good morning, Andrew.
Morning.
Jason, good morning.
Oh, good morning. Yeah,
Hey, is
it's
this your
Jason.
first time joining the call?
Yeah, just the first time. I'm also getting to 2024.
Welcome. I will give you the opportunity once we get kicked off here to introduce yourselves to the entire community.
Okay, yeah, I will.
Renu, am I saying that correctly?
That's right.
Good morning.
Morning.
Is this your first time to call as well?
I'm first time in the call. I was forwarded this invite by Alan Cantle.
Excellent. Glad to have you. I want to wait just another moment here, making sure I've got everybody that's in attendance. And Michelle, is this your first time on the call?
Yes, it is.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
So we've got. We'll go ahead and get started here in about a minute, just touching base and keeping track. And Matt, welcome. Morning. Yeah. Okay, it's 4 after. I'll go ahead and get us started. For those that haven't noticed the communications from Alan, he is on holiday today. And so he asked me to run the meeting for him this morning. We've just got a couple of quick agenda items. We'll go through those rather quickly, but would definitely love to have more of a discussion, especially on one of the topics, and we'll touch base with each of you on those. But effectively, the first thing we like to do during these meetings is to welcome our new member or people that are joining for the first time. And by my count, I think we've got 3 people that have joined us for the first time. So Jason, I think you joined first out of all the new attendees. So if you wouldn't mind offering you some time to provide a quick introduction and your background and potentially why you've joined the call.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is Jason Cho and from the FastCon. I'm working more kind of system architecture to support the module and the interconnected product. Okay, so the reason is because we work on some server product, and also that's the HPC is new area for us. That's why I would like to learn from the architecture of the HPC, and by the way, try to find the area, interconnect area to support that. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So,
thank you, Jason. Appreciate that. And Michelle, if you would please introduce yourself and interest for joining the community.
Okay, hi. My name's Mel, and
Mel, excuse me.
that's okay. And so let's see. I work at Avicenna, and we're working on optical interconnects. I have a little bit of a background in silicon photonics, and just my first time joining the call. I've had a couple calls with Alan in the past. So
Excellent, thanks. I'm recording to make sure that he knows that you've joined as well. So thank you. And good morning, Renu. Your turn, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, my name is Renu Raman, CEO of a company Teresa. I've been working with Alan on leveraging the HPCM efforts and modules. We're building a full ML infrastructure company. You can go look for Teresa. I mean, just a bland page is there, not a whole lot, but some information is there about what we plan to do. Prior to this, I was with VMware and led the VMware on Econix, and as part of the Open 19 consortium with Zach, and we built that roadmap. So we hope to get on the new open system story with HPCM modules for AI workloads and take the spirit of Open 19 and the spirit of OCP and everything and make together a better one going forward.
Excellent. Thanks, Renu. Appreciate it. Welcome. Welcome to all 3 of you. And then looks like we've got Kevin joining. Kevin, good morning. We were just wrapping up introductions.
Happy New Year, whatever.
Yeah, Happy New Year. I'm going to add you one more time to the list. I'm trying to keep track of everybody that's joining for Alan. All right. So one of the things he really wanted to discuss today was the RFP that's been that's expected to be released soon. For those that are not familiar with it, it's the New Frontiers. So they've released the draft RFP, and so effectively it should be coming out. The final RFP should be out any day now. So we're expecting 4 to 6 weeks to be able to respond with proposals. Therefore, Alan was really wanting to confirm with folks on the call who was really going to be able to be responding, especially those that would respond and perhaps, with the support of this HPCM group. So with that said, the proposals need to be less than 50 pages. Winning projects will have a duration of 2 years. The current allocated budget is $23 million, but will likely fund multiple winning proposals. They could change the budget. They've left it open, as well as the number of proposals that will get funded is undetermined at this point. Perhaps they'll provide more information when they release the final RFP, but that's the current understanding at this point. So one of the key aspects of the proposals will be that, that we are a consortium of companies collaborating with open standards underneath the OCP umbrella. So a proposal that demonstrates the collaboration with multiple committed organizations will, in Alan's opinion, give our proposal the best odds of being funded. So I know they're familiar with the organization and what Alan's been doing as well. So I'm going to go over a few. If you're familiar with the RFP, and if you don't have the RFP, I think he submitted it in the email on Sunday or maybe Monday. But if you need me to, I can put that link into the chat. Actually, let me do that real quick. And that way people can access it if you're not familiar with it. Bear with me. All right. Okay, that link is now in there for you to identify or to take a look at the RFP. There are quite a few different subsections that you can respond to, many different areas. So I'm going to go through the list that Alan has on those that have potentially raised their hands about participating, and try to get ask if there's any further commitment to respond, including the OCP HPCM group as part of the consortium within your response. So the first one underneath the HPCM POC systems integrator candidates. So Greg, I think you're on. Are you looking to respond?
Yes, we are planning to respond. Mike's been tasked with it when he's back. Yeah, we're looking at doing that. Obviously, we've got some systems in flight. We have actually just ordered all the parts for a CXL 2 type 2 and 3 system, which hopefully allows us to put some kind of slightly more meat into the proposal. That there is some work already going on. Yeah, we'll see what we can do with that.
Excellent. Thanks, Craig. And then underneath the HPCM power and thermal test vehicle, I've got, it looks like Boyd Programalog and Kevin Giru. I don't know if we have, see any of the names on here. Is there anybody in here that's working on the HPCM power and thermal test vehicle portion of this RFP? I will take that as a no. Yep.
There's other stuff going on which is relevant, and like the chiplet design team, and there's heterogeneous accelerator stuff going on as well at OCP. It's kind of, anything there can be done in simulation.
Okay.
So there's like, we can address some of these things as we're going to build machines that can simulate the new machines.
Correct.
That we're trying to build. So there's that sort of fill in if you need it.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that. So the next category I have, and perhaps potential responders underneath the HPCM system management hardware and software. I mean, here it looks like I've got you tied with Lattice Semiconductor. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, it is.
And are you planning at this point to be able to fully respond along with the HPCM organization as part of that response?
Yes, I am. I think what I'm looking for, Al, is there anybody else who's going to participate, or this is the Lattice? We can do it. We have people lined up for that, and I already had resources aligned for this one. But how the process works, right? Do you want me to respond fully, or should work with Al or work with someone else together and have a sync up call? I'm not sure the process yet.
Yeah, I think this call was really just to get the confirmation of who would respond. And I think Alan's willing to engage with each of those that are confirming that they'll respond to help address, I guess, the partnerships and how the response should go. So I think there's going to be a follow-on call after this once we get the confirmations, is my expectation.
Okay, I got it. So yeah, we will be doing that. I also have the sources and aligned with this one within Lattice, but I need a follow-up call with Alan and to see, what he is looking from me. How should we respond?
Sure. No, that makes sense. Yeah. And I will make a note for Alan on that. I think this is also being recorded, so I think he'll be able to listen to the recording and catch that as well.
Great. Thanks, Sam.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Let's see. The next one I have is looks like Matt Burns. I think you joined. Is that correct? You on? Yep,
I did.
And on the HPCM interconnect, including electrical and optical, is that something you're working to confirm a response for?
I haven't started anything per se, Al, but
Understood.
happy to work with the team to handle that. Yes, it's on my list of things to do.
Great. Your expectation is, I guess, let me make sure I'm clear. I didn't say that very well. Your expectation is you expect to be able to respond.
Yes, we will contribute.
Excellent. Excellent.
Did anybody see the Papa request a few years ago? Something for
apologies, Kevin, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second here. I think we've got one more left to go through, and that would be perhaps an HPCM module development. And Michael Choi, I think you're on as well. Are you planning to provide a response?
Yes, I'm working on it.
Okay, but your intentions are to provide a response, though, correct?
Yes.
Excellent.
Also, I'm thinking, the Alan mentioned about the shared memory solution, like architecture innovation stuff. Probably I will consider that too.
Excellent. So perhaps 2 responses in the shared memory and then also the HPC module development.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Kevin, back to you, please. Thank you.
Yeah, there was a request a few years ago for doing high performance computing using parallel processing and heterogeneous computing. So different kinds of computing for different things and mixing it together. I think the DoD had decided that what we had wasn't going anywhere. It had flatlined on performance. So I had a proposal which is mostly about software infrastructure to go with heterogeneous computing. So, if there's people trying to do accelerators for different things, the problem has always been when you have some nice new accelerator, how do you get people to use it?
Gotcha.
Which is what they spent all that money on Frontier to get Sickle sorted for. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't catch what your point was there.
Oh, I was just saying, obviously the new Horizon system, that was where a lot of the money went in that system, was to develop one API around it. You can see it's clearly a hobby horse of DOE's that, the programmability isn't there in these heterogeneous systems, and they have spent a great deal of money trying to fix it.
So there, I think we can propose some stuff in that space because I've done it before. Just copy it in, to go with the hardware.
Got it. Is that the disaggregated heterogeneous computing area, or is that in a different area? The software.
It's in the same area. It's like we've done white papers or are doing white papers for OCP in that area.
Got it. Okay.
A lot of it's things like when you use a graphics card, there's
Yep.
a bunch of libraries for APIs for graphic stuff that the operating system understands. So it's kind of how do we generalize that and say, okay, if you plug in an accelerator, which libraries is it supporting and how do we use it? So that you have a complete solution, not just a way of plugging in hardware.
Got it. Yep. No, that's great. Highly complimentary then. Thank you. Okay, this will be roundtable. I don't know if anybody has anything else for the entire group. I think this Alan's primary goal was to make sure that everybody was planning on still submitting their responses. So any roundtable discussion items that you would like to bring up?
Perhaps a thought as much as anything. We're kind of pressing on with a prototype of sorts, and we have actually just ordered all the parts to do a CXL single module system to be able to do heterogeneous memory between CPU and FPGAs. So that's be interesting to see if we can come up with a common programming paradigm for the two. But hopefully it's a step forward to this very kind of CXL enabled world, even if it is something of a baby step at this point.
Excellent.
Are you familiar with Steve Castleman's stuff, the hot state machine thing?
I am, and I still don't understand it, if I'm honest. Wish I did.
It's fairly straightforward. I mean, if you understand RTL and hardware,
yeah.
So RTL and hardware is just like you're giving the tools state machine descriptions, and you can kind of look at any routine in the C code as a state machine as well.
Yeah, I think more of our issue is how to make it an ecosystem, and that's actually the problem with all of these platforms. Is
making things work.
How does it all work together? Yeah, how does it all work together?
So what I'm looking at is like if you've got things which are described as routines, the routines can go to any particular piece of compute hardware you want, really. So what's the best piece of hardware for running a particular routine you're looking at? So you kind of disaggregate at the routine level rather than compiling all your routines for x86 or all of them for ARM. So if you got an FPGA compiler, it could be Steve's. You say, okay, I'm going to throw all my routines at the FPGA compiler and see what it gives me, and whether that's going to be better than using some other processor.
Yeah, with all of this stuff, it is all about how to coerce it into a unified ecosystem. That's what we find time and time again. And I would definitely recommend that's one of the things we've got to think about with HPCM, is that stuff has actually got to work together, so that we have a cohesive system. Because there is too much throwing stuff over the fence. Oh, that's someone else's problem. Well, that somebody else is your customer. If you want them to pay money, you got to sort it out. Something I go banging on Intel about remarkably often.
A big chunk falls in like software defined networking, and like that seems to get discussed somewhere else entirely. I haven't really seen people talk too much about software defined networking within OCP.
Yeah, and that all comes in within like the system orchestration piece. It's really got to work as a cohesive flow from one end to the other. I mean, the paper, obviously, Kevin, you and I were on for the heterogeneous computing project subgroup paper. That I think really did make part of the we managed to shape it in such a way that I think it did explain nicely that all this stuff has got to work together. You've got to think of it as a vertical, not just as horizontals. And I hope that's one of the things we can get out of HPCM is having a vertically integrated system that is still an open framework, but you can take the different bits, plug them together, and realistically expect them to work.
Yeah.
Which is very is the theory in a lot of our industry, but very, very rarely the practice.
It's the hardware guys have a kind of I'm going to build it and they will come approach to.
Yes, they really do.
I've got a page somewhere of dead processors where people built nice processors and then failed to provide a software ecosystem.
Yeah, and let's be honest, that is basically the lesson from NVIDIA, right? They built a processor and then built a very nice ecosystem around it. And that's why they're doing an absolute bomb right now. It's not because they've got the best processor.
I think that came down to like one person, like Brian Cantizaro or somebody who just like went and did
Alex Krasinski. I remember sitting having dinner with Jensen, Chris Curring, Michael. I forget what Michael's surname is. But yeah, they were telling me the story of how Alex wrote to them to get the first GPUs, and they nearly didn't send them to him because it was $1,000 out the door. But as I said, best money they've ever spent, $1 billion a year and counting.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see how we can pull some of these elements together. I mean, we're kind of very practical folks in it, and we're trying to actually build some MVP prototypes around some of these concepts, even if they're not really a standard of any description, just so we can start finding out some of the pitfalls. Obviously like to work with anybody and everybody on this call around things like thermal management. How do we do the interconnects? How do we do memory expansion, etc. And let's say even if that's not really the finished system, hopefully it will act as a test bed for everybody. We've got beautiful new facilities we've been building in Buckinghamshire and the UK to be able to trial all this stuff out, and lots of hardware engineering in one place. So hopefully that can act as a bit of a catalyst for some practical experimentation.
Excellent. Any other roundtable items or topics that anyone would like to approach? I did see in the email or in the chat, Andrew brought up looking for potentially some HPE folks. I haven't heard anybody from HPE. Perhaps I think Greg's point was there were some folks from Liquid on at one point that were.
A lot of those guys are ex-HPE. That's why I wondered if it was them.
Yeah, I recall that as well.
Do you happen to have names for those people?
I do not. It might be in notes. I can take a look after the call, Andrew, and if I find it in notes, I'll see if I can't send that over to you if we have your email here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like anybody's on the call in that regard.
Yeah. Okay.
You got anybody addressing optical interconnect?
Let me verify. I've got a list here.
I think that was you, wasn't it, Mel? You guys are optical interconnect folks.
That's correct. Yes. We did discuss with Alan a modified product that we might be able to look at to apply to the spec.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at when you're plugging boards in that, like I would like to do surface to surface across the board in optical or free space communication somehow.
Okay.
And maybe we could throw that in on the RFP to get the money.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a discussion with you on other things not related necessarily to HPCM. If you want to drop us a line now.
Sorry, who was that pointed toward, Greg?
Mel.
Yes.
Ricci.
Okay. Yes. Absolutely.
We probably have a number of similar customers in mind.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Thank you.
Excellent. Tony, welcome. I think we're just about at the end, unless anybody else has a roundtable discussion item.
I've got one lingering question from the last call, which I believe was at this point, like what, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
Okay.
Because of the holiday and everything.
Yep.
One of the last talking points I recall is I thought I heard someone saying that the idea for the modules that are pertinent to this project, they were not meant to exceed 40 watts per module.
That's the M3 modules. So they're the ones that plug onto the back of the HPCM module itself, the smaller form factor. So for example, you might have a block of CXL memory on one of those E3s. Sorry, E3s.
So what is the, I guess if you were to hold like a brick, like the one that Alan was showing off, the 3D printed model, like that entire brick, how much power can that brick consume?
We're initially aiming for 1 kilowatt.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right, gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's the modules on the back side, the ones that are pluggable, onto the backside. That's kind of the target is around 40 watts. I mean, it all really depends on this thermal thing, and I think that's part of the reason why I want to get some experimentation and some modeling going, because the thing that is limiting the whole industry right now, right, is how do we get rid of that heat? At the end of the day, if we could make that 400 watts, then I think we all would. But it's how do you get rid of that density? And its density is the issue. It's surface area. If it was spread over a massive surface area, it wouldn't really be a problem. But the fact is, you have very small surface area, very high energy density, and it's how do you get rid of that heat in a efficient manner? That is really the question. And I think part of the reason why I want to get down to some practical experimentation with it is because I think there is a number of potential technologies out there for it. I doubt any single solution is going to solve the whole problem. It's going to probably be a case of bringing together a number of approaches, and some of that is going to be pure material sciences. And we do need to find a way of getting more heat out and capture it so that it can be dealt with. This idea we keep chucking hot air around is clearly been madness for a while, but I don't think anyone's quite got the solution yet for what do we do with it. And we're only going to find out, right?
There's an alternative of moving to better technology for how we implement things, so we cut the power. I mean,
yeah, but the problem is conservation only ever gets you so far. Look at the whole world right now. Conservation hasn't got us. But you can always.
Well, I was looking more at
increase the density.
There's things like there's a thing called quasi adiabatic logic that you could use. I was particularly looking at it for FPGAs, and then there's another thing, just asynchronous logic in general is something which we don't have tools for. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is the problem. It's kind of art of the possible. You can't change the semiconductor ecosystem. I mean, if you move to graphene or a number of other technologies, you can make the same argument. But
we could do a lot better with what we have. I mean, what we have at the moment is mostly like 80s technology that got shrunk.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, still fundamentally, you've got to find better ways of handling the thermal loads. And I think we've got to, there's lots of new solutions coming to ground. There's lots of advances going on in metamaterials right now. I think, part of what this group is going to have to be about is finding out some of those things. So that we can see what can be turned into a standards-based model, to be able to interoperate with all the different technologies that need to sit within this stack in a practical way that can be consumed. Again, it's the classic thing with there's a reason why every commercial aircraft is not based on SR-72 technology is that hypergolic fuels and whatnot and scramjet engines are not very practical, and it's the same thing here. You've got to try and find something which is practical to consume in the data center yet delivers high performance, and that's ultimately what defining standards is about, right? It's trying to find that compromise which creates a definition that is useful for the industry.
Nice. All right, Tony, is this your first time attending?
Yes, it is. Okay.
If you'd like, we typically invite first timers to announce themselves, share who you're with, and perhaps the interest in the HPCM group.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Tony Mantione. I'm actually with Synopsys. I'm in their strategic marketing organization, and I focus on HPC and cloud and data center. And really my interest here is just starting to get more active within the OCP community, specifically HPC and ODSA.
Excellent. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it. I think that wraps us up for the day. I'll open up one last time for any roundtable. All right. Thanks, everyone, for confirming your interest in the response. I'll make sure and share that with Alan, and he should have a recording of this as well. If you have any questions in the interim, feel free to let me know. Andrew, I do have it down to take a look. to see if I can determine and find any of those contacts for you. And if I can, I'll get that over to you.
That would be wonderful. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Everyone have a wonderful day. Y'all take care.
Have a good day.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.